Hello, happy Sunday. Welcome to the show. It is Sunday the 30th of October. Welcome to the Big Magazine. It's your nice relaxed look around our area. Shall we see what we've got in store for your Sunday? Oh yes, it's Sunday, so in a few moments we're going to cross to the big news team to see what they've been reporting on this week. A little later on, Des and Gary will see what's on for Sunday. Carl will be here with his regular look at the film news, and we'll see what's up on this week's community notice board. Oh, and we're going to check out how you've been connecting with us too. And I think Jason is going to be at the Milk Bar talking to somebody quite famous a little later on in the show. It's all to come within the pages of Sunday's Big Magazine. So then it's over to Big Centre's newsroom now for a look back at what's been going on in our area this week.
We may well be 80 miles from the sea, but Birmingham's land-based naval contingent from HMS Forward were very much in evidence as Birmingham continued its long tradition of celebrating Trafalgar Day. That's the nearest Sunday to October the 21st, the day in 1805 when Nelson led the British to naval success against the Spanish and French navies off the southwest coast of Spain near Cape Trafalgar. Nelson's success once again gave the British supremacy over the seas, reopening trade routes with the rest of the world, which had dramatic effects on the economy of the country. Birmingham people were so impressed that the city became the first in the country to raise funds through public subscription to erect a statue in honour of Nelson and his achievements. And that's been in the Bullring since 1809.
He'd visited Birmingham in 1802. He'd stayed at the Styles Hotel in Union Street, which is where House of Fraser now is. There's a plaque opposite, and people loved him. I mean, people in Birmingham during the Napoleonic Wars were starving because obviously Napoleon's navy was blockading Britain, so we couldn't get supplies. So people were starving. So his breaking of the Napoleonic navy meant that food could come into Birmingham. So when he came to Birmingham in 1802, end of August, beginning of September, he'd come from Worcester with Sir William Hamilton, his friend of his, and Sir William Hamilton's wife, which is obviously also his mistress. So it was an interesting menage a trois. So he came to Birmingham. They were fated. They went to see a play at the Theatre Royal in New Street, and as the Deputy Lord Mayor said in his speech, the people were so enamoured of Nelson that they unhitched the horses from the carriage and the men pulled him there themselves. So this is like, for whatever hero you have, whether it's David Beckham, whatever fantastic football supporter, the royal family, everyone he was seen as this demigod. Sadly was killed. But what that did in terms of Birmingham was that it paved the way for the Navy's supremacy for the next 100 years. And then you thought, well, how has that got to do with Birmingham? Well, two things. First of all, there was men on board every ship at Trafalgar from Birmingham. So Birmingham men fought in that battle. But in terms of what it means today, Birmingham would not have been could have become the big merchant trading city that it did become if we couldn't export our goods to all the corners of the world, and with obviously the protection of the Royal Navy. So that's what really Nelson did. He set up this supremacy for 100 years that really enabled Birmingham to become if there hadn't been Trafalgar and Nelson, the city of Birmingham would not have become the big city it became. So that's why it's important.
For many people across the region, this used to be a fairly common sight. But as a result of urbanisation and human impact, the number of hedgehogs in the country has fallen to below 1 million. That's a decline of around 30% in just 10 years. Although the number of hedgehogs seen out in the wild has fallen though, rescue centres like this one have seen a rise in the number of at-risk hedgehogs requiring their help.
In a rescue hedgehog place nearby, they've got 400 hedgehogs this year alone already. And you get a particular rise at this time of year in autumn because the females may have had hoglets quite recently and they might get disturbed, people sweeping up leaf piles and trying to tidy up. And that fortunately means they get disturbed. Additionally, they're trying to fatten up to hibernate right now. And if they can't find enough food, they don't get to hibernate, so they might be seen wandering around in the daytime. And that's when it causes a bit of a cause of concern.
In an attempt to help protect the number of hedgehogs in the Midlands, the Wildlife Trust are working with a number of organisations to help raise awareness. The Homes for Hedgehogs scheme is just one of many things they are doing and aims to help educate children as well as providing custom-built homes for hedgehogs to hibernate safely in over the winter.
They'll be shown how to make homes for hedgehogs, how to make sure hedgehogs have plenty of food in the area, how to track for hedgehogs to see if they are actually around in their garden, and basically check on bonfire night that there's no hedgehogs in their bonfire.
With the species in serious decline, the Trust feel that something needs to be done to help protect the common hedgehog, and will hope that today's activities go some way to doing just that. But why is it so important?
They're really important because they are a really iconic animal. Like I say, they're the only one we have. And as I said earlier, human impact is one of the reasons they are going into decline. So it's up to us to make sure we're looking after and protecting them. And it's through schemes like that this happens. Not many people know they are in decline. People are aware of animals across the world that are endangered, but not so much our own species. So that is our role here in trying to educate people about these creatures and what we can do to help them.
I'm Tom Bowen for Big News.
Question of the day. What noise can you think of that you can associate with a happy memory? That is exactly what artist Justin Wigan is trying to find out. The Birmingham Open Media Centre is the home for his Life Echo exhibition, as Justin is using specially designed pods in a groundbreaking experiment for people to listen to sounds that will trigger memories. The idea of the procedure is to combat the likes of depression with positive thoughts and is set to be tested in Winson Green Prison. The research is already being supported by Microsoft, and the man of the moment explains what made him come up with the idea.
My experience with my wife, who 5 years got diagnosed with breast cancer. It was a triple negative breast cancer, so it's a really aggressive breast cancer. And during that time, I had to rely on good memories to keep myself buoyant. Because I'm a musician, I noticed that the memories that I was trying to pull back didn't have any sounds to them. But I know as humans, we do record things. So I was thinking that them sounds must be somewhere. So it kind of like led into a research and creative project on the basis of that, of trying to think of these good memories that's going to make me feel happy during a traumatic time. So you come in, remove your shoes, you lie down, the door's open. Inside there's a small speaker and a small light. The door gets closed. Inside, people experience what it would be like to be at that time and location of that person remembering. So it's almost like you dropped right into that memory and you'd be hearing the same things as what that person would at that time.
So essentially then, somebody else's memory could trigger a memory off in your head?
Yeah. So that's what people experience in here. There's 3 pods. One's case studies from the John Taylor Hospice. The second one is some commercial studies we've done and work we've done with Cotteridge School in South Birmingham. Pod 3 is C for Fireside, which is a homeless and alcohol charity in Digbeth, and Crisis, which is a homeless charity as well, and that's in Pod 3. The difference with that one is we're using a new system, the same kind of idea, but it's the sounds of memories you've not had yet. Just the sounds of your future, the sounds that you want to experience. So that's about setting goals, motivation, positive planning, and it's having the same effect as what the memory atlas was having. So you can choose which direction you want to go through sound to manage your own well-being.
The showcase is on Monday to Saturday between 12 and 5. More information is on bom.org.uk. Aaron Wiggins for Big News.
Right then, still to come, Des and Gary will find out what's on for Sunday. Carl will run down the film chart and cast an eye over the new film releases as well. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. It is the Big Magazine with you for a Sunday here on Big Centre. Now, still to come, Carl with the film news, and we'll take a trip to the Milk Bar a little later on with Jason. Oh, and we're going to see what's up on the community notice board as well. And we're going to take a look at how you've been connecting with Big Centre this week. It's all to come later on in the show. Plenty of looks at so many things. But first, let's find out what's on for Sunday. Here they are, Des and Gary.
Starting at lunchtime today, another vintage fair coming up.
There we go.
The Moseley Vintage Fair has over 30 stalls of pure vintage, ranging from fab clothing, accessories, homewares, jewellery, furnishings, collectibles, curios, and much more.
What is it? Hang on. What is a curio?
I don't know. It's something to... What's that?
It's like I've always wondered where people say it's a white elephant stall.
Yeah, you never see a white elephant, do you?
It's a white elephant. I suppose they think it's something like it's of no use to anybody, but somebody might find a use to.
Maybe the stall holder says, "Excuse me, so are you curious in that?" You know. That's a curio. Yeah. If you know what a curio is, let us know. There's a licensed bar, and hot and cold snacks will also be available.
Fantastic. Well, the sandwiches were made in 1963. Now, the Wolverhampton Grand hosts a legendary panel game, I'm Sorry, I Haven't a Clue, with Tim Brooke-Taylor, Jack Dee, Graham Garden and Barry Cryer for a special recording. Blimey, they are still going. For those who are devotees, it's a show not to be missed. And for those who don't know what it is, you don't know what you're missing. It is brilliant, actually.
It is.
It's good.
Yeah. Old-fashioned humour.
Yeah.
You know, dead straight.
And Radio 4, isn't it?
Radio 4, been going for years.
Yeah, brilliant.
At the Old Crown down in Digbeth, they're holding the Blood Feast. Think gore and glamour in equal amounts, making it an evening of immersive dining with a 3-course meal served in a truly horrific fashion. Oh, and spooky fancy dress is essential.
Okay.
No effort, no entry.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And at the Rep, the nation's critically acclaimed bar-based Braveheart, Al Murray, the pub landlord, brilliant, embarks on a common sense crusade to re-great Britain in his brand new show, Let's Go Backward Together. Fantastic.
He's good, I like him.
He's fantastic.
Right then, so gigs for Sunday, and we've got dandy cowboy Rob Heron and the Teapad Orchestra. They're at the Hare and Hounds. Over in Old Brighton Sports and Social Club, the Jazz Club 90 feature the Wabash Jazz Quartet with wonderful jazz and blues singer Alice Bevan. Don't forget it starts at 1 o'clock at lunchtime. Veteran Rockers FM play the River Rooms in Stourbridge. Chaz and Dave are on at the New Alex Theatre. There's some good away that night, I bet you. Sky and Ross are at the Bramhall Music Building, which is in the university. Yep. And singer-songwriter Ben Montague is at the Hare and Hounds. And here's his song, We Start Over.
You drop the phone, say, I've never seen you look so pale. Did someone pull the rug away? The job, the dreams we built start to evaporate, and all that we had were brave desires against Goliath. We crash, we burn. listen, let go all the bad decisions. We're all the same. We crash, we burn, we live, we learn, we hurt, then we start over.
And Des and Gary will be back here on Big Centre with a look at what's on for the coming week, tonight at 7, as well as during Big News all this week. So then, time for a look at this week's new film releases. Movie chart as well. It's time for the Big Picture Bite Size. Here's Carl Jones.
Thanks very much, Lee. Well, it's that time of the week now where we take a look at what's hot and maybe what's not at cinemas across the Big Centre region over the past few days. Now, this week's big new release is Doctor Strange, with Benedict Cumberbatch as a surgeon who's trying to heal himself after a serious accident and ends up getting drawn into a mysterious world of mystic arts. Well, excitement was at fever pitch, it's fair to say, in Birmingham on Tuesday, when this film became the first to be shown in our region in the new 4DX technology at Cineworld in Broad Street. What's 4DX, I hear you say? Take a look at this.
4DX is a multi-sensory cinematic experience, 16 different effects, blowing customers away with the experience of a Hollywood movie in a seat that lurches and moves, all in perfect synchronization with the movie. It really is a fantastic experience.
I think the 4DX is really, really cool. I think it really adds something. You can really tell the sort of time and effort that's been put into making the seat go in a certain way at a certain time, so it matches what's going on the screen. I think that's really fantastic.
It was like unreal, it was great. It feels like you're in the film.
It got my heart racing from the first minute, to be fair.
That was the best cinema experience I've ever had.
I don't think I can go to the cinema and watch a movie if it's not in 4DX anymore.
What do you think about that then? Theme park or cinema? If you've been along and given this a try, I'd love to know what you made of it. If that's not quite your cup of tea, let's have a quick look at what else is riding high in the box office charts right now. Hanging on at number 5, it's Bridget Jones's Baby, the third and probably the best movie in the series so far. At 4, family animated fun Storks, and another animation at number 3, which is Pixar's Trolls. Down to number 2 this week is Emily Blunt's mystery thriller The Girl on the Train, which means that this week's number 1 is the Dan Brown thriller Inferno. Here's a look at how Ben Foster meets a dramatic end in the film's opening minutes.
In case they find me, I left you a path. The hardest one yet. Inferno will be at the end. You are my contingency plan. You are humanity's final hope. Make sure Inferno is unleashed. Seek and find.
Long road, but here we are. Better me than the Americans. You're going to want to tell me where it is.
Yes, Mr. Bouchard. I know, I will. Tell them, humanity is the disease. Inferno is the cure.
Inferno now showing in cinemas around our region. Now, if you've ever visited the city of Florence, you'll know just how high that tower is. That's it for now. Don't forget, I'm back every weekday here on Big Centre with your bite-sized big picture update. And if you want to share a movie review or any local film news that you've got, or you're involved in a movie project, well, send me an email. The address is movies@bigcentre.tv, or contact us through the Facebook page or online.
Thanks, Carl. He's here at the same time every week. And of course, there's more from Carl every day of the week during the news. Now we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be visiting the Milk Bar with Jason, and he's going to be talking to someone famous who's treading the boards in Wolverhampton this year. Later on, we're going to look at the community notice board, and as ever, we'll be seeing what you've been saying to us as well. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Hello, my name is Mark Birchall. Determination is rarely found nowadays amongst many people, yet it is perhaps one of the most important traits that separate those that are just getting by from those who are truly remarkable. People that place great value on determination refuse to retreat in the face of setbacks, opposition, and disappointments. Determination is the willingness to give it all you've got when you feel at times like throwing in the towel. A person with determination will do whatever it takes to overcome the obstacles in his path and to rise above its challenges. Life is often a struggle, but in every battle, your mental outlook will be the key to your success or the key to your failure. The person with mental toughness, resolve and willpower will be the person that eventually will triumph. I have found that in my own life, that when I'm facing the most severe opposition and disappointment, that I actually thrive in the face of it and push through with greater determination. Michael Jordan, the legendary basketball player, said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games, and 26 times I've been trusted to take the winning shot and I missed. I failed over and over again in my life, but that is why I've succeeded," he said. What he was saying was that he'd bounced back every time he'd failed, and through sheer determination, kept going forward until he succeeded. I remember many years ago, just after becoming the pastor of the church, that an older and wiser man spoke to me about leadership. And this is what he said: "The first thing you need to remember, Mark, is that you're going to have to be mentally strong." I didn't think his words were at all spiritual at that time and dismissed them as of no use to me whatsoever. Now, all these years later, I realize he was right. When Moses was 120 years old and was passing on the baton of leadership to the younger guy, Joshua, time after time he told him in the Bible to be strong, and then very strong, and then finally he said in the book of Deuteronomy, "Be strong and be courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you and he will never forsake you." Do you feel like quitting today? Be strong and be determined to carry on. Your future depends on it. Until next time, take care.
Right then, we're turning now to the Milk Bar with Jason Forrest. As ever, the Milk Bar reflects what's happening in and around Wolverhampton. You can hear it on the radio and as a podcast as well. And now Jason joins us each week with one of his guests.
Joe McElderry, you are Aladdin this year. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I'm excited for this. I'm really looking forward to it.
So you've tried on the outfit, and what are your first thoughts?
Well, I've tried on one of them. Normally with the pantos comes an array of sequins and tight costumes. I've had one on today. It's quite comfortable. Most of them aren't that comfortable. They look absolutely incredible, but they're quite difficult to wear. So
there's often chafing.
Well, no, it's just most of them are covered in sequins. You get scratches off sequins, so I kind of prepare myself every time it gets to this time of the year.
So for you, panto season, exfoliation season.
Moisturisation.
Yeah, add that on top, and hopefully you'll be okay. Exactly. So obviously, panto is a family that you've sort of joined in with, and how many have you done now?
This will be my fourth. It's a huge cast. It's a big cast. Obviously, Lisa Riley, Lucy Kay, Ben Forbes, we've got Doreen, we've got a lot of people in it, which would be great. And obviously we've all kind of met for the first time today, so it's I'm really looking forward to it, you know. And I've been told in the past, Aladdin's kind of one of the best pantos to do is in terms of the storyline. It's great fun, it's got a lot of comedy in it, so I'm really excited.
And obviously the hair is looking fantastic there, and how is that going to take part in the show? Because with the costume changes, how do you keep that in check?
Well, I'm used to doing it with my shows. You know, it's hairsprayed within an inch of its life.
But I mean, with your shows at the moment, you've basically got 3 jobs. You're doing your musical theatre. Panto is a whole separate thing completely. And of course, the Northern Light Tour as well.
Yeah, well, you know, and that's kind of how I like it. I like the variety. I like doing different things. It stops you from getting bored. And I suppose it stops people coming to see me, you know, if they enjoy what I do, they get to see us in different light, you know, and different experiences of a live performance. So it's good fun. It can be stressful, flicking between everything, but it's great fun.
And for you and Panto, so what's your earliest memory of Panto, do you think?
Literally, I was obsessed with it from being about 4 years old. I used to go every year with all my family to a local one in South Shields where I'm from, and loved it, absolutely loved it. And I always used to watch it and think, oh my God, I'd love to be up on the stage there, and I'd love to be all the costumes and the dance routines and throwing the pies off each other. I was fascinated by it all. It was my favourite thing. So, and when I was asked a couple of years ago, I thought to myself, will I enjoy it? You know, as I do with every job that I do, you know, if I'm committing to something for a long period of time, I want to be able to have fun, you know, and I think it's important to only try and do things that you know you're going to enjoy. And I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it, you know. I knew I was a fan of watching it. I didn't know how I would enjoy being in it. I absolutely can 100% say it's one of my favourite times of the year. I have a blast every year, and I would recommend it to any performer. You have such a great time.
And when it comes to the music side of your career, obviously you're doing that with the tour at the moment, and we sort of dragged you away from that for Panto launch. But are we seeing new music in the near future, or where are we with albums at the moment? Because there's still quite a back catalogue there that people are buying.
Yeah, well, I mean, the tour at the minute, the Northern Light Tour, is going all over the country, finishes a couple of days before Panto starts, and it's got some new material in there, so you can hear new music in the live show. As in terms of recording, I'm kind of just recording in between shows and schedule stuff, but there'll be something out next year, I would imagine. It's just about getting it together, and I've kind of been busy touring. You know, I did Joseph the first half of the year, came straight into doing my tour, and then it'll be straight into Panto. So it's a bit difficult kind of locking down official recording studio days, but we will get it round to it eventually.
And Panto will be good fun. There'll be a great script, we know that much. Are you hoping for any particular songs in there this time round?
Well, I've seen the songs. I know what the songs are, but there's a couple of favourites I think that people will enjoy. People that maybe I'll probably know from what I sing as well. And there's some new ones, there's some interesting ones which I've never performed before. But I imagine normally, you know, with the shows with the company Kudos that we work with, they're really, really good at fitting in music into the shows and stuff, and it all really kind of matches and works well. So I have every bit of faith that it's going to be fabulous.
And you said that you've only just met the rest of the team, and I know you've bonded well. I know you've chatted with Lisa on Twitter for a good while over all of this. But how do you think you'll cope with Doreen? Because she keeps referring to you as Joe McElderberry.
I've been called that before, actually, in Panto. So I'm sure I'll cope with that fine. You know, what tends to happen in Panto is there's a lot of mick taken from one another. You know, you get made fun of by a lot of the comedians. And you've got to go with it, you know. I love it. I welcome it. I have fun with it, and I enjoy it. And I think that's what makes a great Panto. If you go into it thinking, oh my God, I'm going to take myself really seriously, and I'm going to be this really serious performer that's not going to laugh at any joke, it spoils the vibe, you know. So you have to just throw yourself into it and just enjoy it. And the past 4 years, I'm always like, come on, I want to be a part of the jokes, you know, and I like to be a part of it. It makes it more special.
Yeah, it makes it good fun. And clearly, I've seen you on stage in Joseph for the Grand. I know you enjoyed that, and I'm sure you're looking forward to coming back to what's a great theatre and after the refurb as well.
I can't wait. They were fabulous, fabulous. Some of our favourite audiences actually on the tour. I think me and the cast had a bit of a list of venues where the audiences were the best and nicest places in terms of venues, and Wolverhampton was on the list, so you made it.
And you came back to see us as well, which is absolutely brilliant. Yes. Right the way through from mid-December to mid-January. grandtheatre.co.uk to get your tickets. 01902 429212, the box office number. But a chance for your fans who are going to be travelling from all over the country, and everyone across the Midlands is going to be heading to the Grand for Aladdin, and we're looking forward to seeing you as star of the show.
I can't wait. Let's have some fun.
Thanks, Jason, and we'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. And you can download and listen to the latest edition of the Milk Bar from www.themilkbarpodcast.com.
So, okay, we have penne, spaghetti. I'm stuck.
Penne, fettuccine, spaghetti, pasta. I can't actually, honest with you.
Fusilli, tagliatelle, ravioli, spaghetti.
Spaghetti, vermicelli.
Twirls, even though that's not the name.
Tagliatelli's one. You tell me, won't you?
Lasagna.
Spaghetti. Lasagna. Yeah.
Muesli.
Muesli. Fusilli, not muesli. Fusilli.
I'm going to say lasagna sheets. That's probably not the proper name, but
Pappardelle. Fusilli. I think that's probably top of my head.
I like eating it, but I don't know much about it.
Brilliant. OK, we're going to take another short break now. There's plenty more still to come, including the community notice board, and we'll be seeing what you've been saying to us as well. I'll see you in a few minutes.
Let's have a look what is happening in our area as we turn our attention to the community notice board.
Here it is. Yes, of course, if you have any news or information from around our area that you'd like us to mention, do get in touch. But as always, give us plenty of notice.
And if you do want to get in touch, then as always, we'll tell you how you can in a few minutes.
Now, a couple of things are coming up at Martineau Gardens in Edgbaston for Halloween.
I remember this from last week. Yeah, it's officially Halloween weekend this weekend. Firstly, Community Gardens Martineau and the Traditional Arts team have joined forces to present Stories on Halloween, a family-friendly evening of outdoor storytelling on the evening of Monday the 31st of October.
Spooky tales, yes. Visitors are invited to take a ghost walk around Martineau Gardens as the darkness falls, to stand in the shadows, the woods or beside the flickering fire, and listen to tales of ghosts, spirits and fairy folk.
Hot soup and light refreshments will be available. That's not spooky.
No,
hot spooks. I was thinking of hot spooks.
Yes.
Okay, hot soups and light refreshments will be available. All people can bring their own. You'll need to book, so for more information, go to www.martineauxgardens.org.uk/events, or you can call them on 0121 440. Okay, it's 0121 440 7430.
I wanted to hear how you're going to do the rest of that.
I was like, I realised I couldn't, so just quit halfway.
Right, okay. Well, the next day on Halloween itself, there's a Sugar Skulls workshop for children. Members of the Mexican community in the Midlands are running a Day of the Dead activity to share the tradition with local families.
Oh, it's like the beginning of James Bond, isn't it? Daniel Craig, James Bond. They do the Day of the Dead. It's very exciting. All right, you can see the altar that will be set up at Martineau Gardens, keeping one of Mexico's most ancient traditions alive here in the heart of England. You can decorate a sugar skull, then eat them, or place them on the altar as a decoration. Which one would you do?
I'll probably eat it. Actually.
Yeah, I think they all will.
Now, the gardens, which are normally closed on Sundays, will be open for ticket holders for a couple of hours for people to attend one of the 30-minute Sugar Skull children's workshops. Visit the altar, explore the gardens, or enjoy a hot or cold drink. Again, you'll need to book, so have a look at their website, www.martineau-gardens.org.uk/events.
Now, public support for the return of markets in Hedgehogs has led to a series of artesian events being planned around key dates in the town starting early next year.
Residents and traders have long championed the idea of bringing a market back to Market Street as a way of attracting new shoppers to the area and to provide a boost to the town's economy.
Makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Market on Market Street.
Of course, the heart of a town is a market, isn't it?
Exactly. So far, dates have been set for 4 markets set around key events on the Hedgehogs calendar. They will be themed and offer a chance to showcase the excellent range of produce available from around the locality, from fresh seasonal farmers' goods to unique arts and crafts, along with street food and some specialty goods.
Now, the market is planned to link to 4 key dates through the year. Valentine's Day with an event on Saturday, February the 11th, Staffordshire Day with stalls on Saturday, April the 29th, the Summer Festival on Saturday, August the 12th, and the 2017 Christmas lights switch on with the market the following day, Saturday, December the 2nd. The whole year is planned out.
So that's not this Christmas, but next Christmas.
That's right, Hensford.
Yes.
There we go, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board.
Have you been sitting there hoping we'd mention something, or do you know of something coming up soon that we ought to be talking about?
Well, if you do, get in touch, get in touch. But make sure you let us know in plenty of time. You like that,
Yes.
don't you?
Yes, so how do you get in touch? Get in touch. Well, there are many of ways, but your best bet is to email us via the postbag. That's hello@bigcentre.tv, or if social media and the internet thing is more your thing, then you can look us up and send us a message at Big Centre TV.
You know how to do that?
Yes.
Okay. How about this one? Put a letter in the post.
I know how to do that. You can put a letter in the post. Can I do it?
Yeah, go on,
You
go
can
on.
put a letter in the post to the community notice board. If I'm doing it, you have to do the
Oh, sorry.
magic. There we go. The community notice board, Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL.
So then, I think we should move on to some of the messages we've been receiving recently. Now, we ran a competition recently to win family tickets to Brick Live, which is the UK's largest Lego exhibition. It's on at the NEC until Sunday. And it's a big congratulations to Kelly McIntyre, Charlie Pope, Kat Screamy, that's what she calls herself, Gemma Peden, Charlie Kushler. Now, we hope you guys all have had a great time. Well done. Now, you've probably seen on our Facebook page that we bring you the daily weather forecast every day. So even if it's not time for the news, you can still look up the weather just by going there. Well, Councillor Nick Barlow, no less, has left us a message to say, clear and concise weather forecast. Other broadcasters should follow suit. I tell you what, I'm going to pass that message on to Nick D, who does many of our graphics. I reckon he'll be pleased you said that. Councillor Barlow also went on to say that he hoped it wouldn't change. Well, we hope it won't change also. If anything, it's going to get better in the coming weeks. So remember, keep on sending in your photos to be included in the weather forecast every day, and watch out to see if you've been selected. Remember the shape, right? We need them as landscape, which is that way, and not portrait, which is that way. So that way, that's what we want, okay? Thank you. Now, Tom Brandt has asked a question that we're getting asked quite a lot recently, namely, is Big Centre going to be available on Sky when it changes to Made in Birmingham? And the answer, as I mentioned last week, is quite simply yes. Now, you're going to have to watch this space just for a little while longer, but yes, when we are Made in Birmingham, we will be available on Sky. Yes, you can look to the heavens and we'll be beaming straight down to you. Yeah, it's a bit melodramatic, but you know what I mean. Now, Sally Jane Saunders asks, have you got any I Love Lucy episodes, as you seem to show and re-show the Lucy Show episodes? Thank you. Well, yeah, it's true. And the answer to that is that I Love Lucy and the Lucy Show are kind of separate. Now, although they were made by the same company back in the 50s and 60s, the same company that actually made Star Trek originally, Desilu, yeah. Over the years, the copyright to them has kind of altered. And so at the moment, we have around 20 episodes which we have the rights to show. But unfortunately, it doesn't include the original I Love Lucy show. So at the moment, we're showing one a week, and then we repeat it at different times during the week for anyone who hasn't seen it. But keep an eye on the website, just to see if we run any more. You never know. And finally, back to Councillor Nick Barlow. He says, since Big Centre's launch, I've had the pleasure of being interviewed in their studio and twice on an OB. Their style is professional and they remain local in their focus. I hope their successor does not shift away from that. Good luck. And our reply on Facebook was, thank you, Councillor, for your kind words. We believe this move will be for the better and will open all sorts of new opportunities for us to grow while maintaining our local focus. Having visited other stations on the Made television network, it's clear that they put great stock into maintaining local autonomy, which will enable us to reflect the uniqueness of our area. Thank you for your continued support. And it's true, the name may change, the look may change, but it's still us, you know, and we're right here for you. It's true. Oh, finally, Sally Southall has been watching the big quiz, and she's questioning us now. She says, I'm sorry to raise this matter, but when the question was asked, what is the largest wind instrument, should the reply have been bagpipes? I enjoyed the programme. It's been the first time I've watched it. Well, Sally, thank you, firstly, for watching the programme. We're glad you enjoyed it. You know, we've actually had quite a few people telling us how much they're enjoying it lately. and I think you can tell that we enjoy doing it, although we still want to get the questions right. So, I've spoken to Norman, and we've looked into this, and it seems at the moment like the largest woodwind instrument seems to be the contrabass saxophone, or the contrabass saxophone. Now, we've seen a picture of it, and basically it looks like a regular saxophone, but it's much larger. In fact, the example I've seen was something like 7 feet tall. Apparently 30 of them have been built over the last 80 or so years, but a lot of them have gone missing, begging the question, how on earth do you lose a saxophone that's 7 foot tall? But anyway, the contrabass saxophone currently seems to be the largest woodwind instrument. But can you do any better? Why don't you let us know? So there you go. If you want to get in touch with us, maybe you just want to say hi, get your name on the telly, or perhaps you want to send someone a nice message on the telly. Maybe it's even somebody's birthday, whatever. Then on social media, we are at Big Centre TV and also Big Centre Sport. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Plus, of course, you can email us, hello@bigcentre.tv. And keep an eye on our station, because those details are obviously going to change soon, but we'll tell you what they are soon. But if you just want to write to us, then the address for anything at all, we are Big Centre, 14A, Lower Hall Lane, Walsall, WS1 1RL. And there you have it. That was the Big Magazine for Sunday. You can catch the Big Magazine Saturdays at 10 and 6. Then we're back with more on Sundays, also at 10 and 6. During the week, Big News is with you at 10, 1:30, again at 5 till 6 and 8:30. And it all includes big sport from our studios at Edgbaston Stadium. I'll be seeing you again this week during our big quiz. You can play along on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 6, and you can catch it again on Wednesday and Friday afternoons. Oh, and also in the middle of the night. Oh yes. Then I'll see you back here, same time, same place next week. So thank you for watching this weekend. I will see you later. Try a bit.